Hello, my name is Marc Jeffrey, and you are listening to episode 8 of the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, brought to you by MPC Solutions. Thank you for joining me on what is now episode 8 of the Marc Jeffrey Podcast Show, recorded March the 30th, 2017, from the studio on the hill, southwest UK, not a million miles from London. A podcast of my life through a lens aimed to inspire you, cheer you up in times of need, and possibly make you feel that your life is ready for the next episode. Coming up in this episode, I'll be telling you the crazy goings on in my life this week. We will also be talking about topics such as food. What do I recommend locally to me, and which dish makes my belly crave for more? We will also be briefly discussing the mainstream music chart and who I think will be the next band, solo artist to dominate it, if any. We have music from this week's unsigned artists, who are Jack Ferry and Tom Baker. So I'm going to start this episode 8 off with a question that quite a few of you have been asking me over the last couple of weeks. It was, Mark, how do you sit down and plan and produce your podcast? Well, I'm not going to go into huge details because I think you'd be quite bored of it, to be fair. But it generally starts on a Tuesday evening, normally about 7 o'clock. I get the kids to bed. And then I come downstairs after doing that, after reading them a story, and me and Nikki normally sit down and watch the latest episode of Walking Dead. And then after that, I head on down to the studio, have a nice cup of coffee, and then that's where the work begins. Now, Tuesday night is normally just consists of writing down the intro to my show, the start of the show, the introduction of the show. I normally write that on a Tuesday, and then after that, I record it. Get that all recorded, that's that done. And then after that, I upload the music that the unsigned artists have sent in, generally 2 songs. I get that uploaded, and then I start script writing. The main content of the show, I start writing down brief notes about that. And then basically that's about it for a Tuesday night. That's my Tuesday night work done. And that normally takes me about roughly an hour. And then I don't do anything for my podcast then until Wednesday night. Again, get the kids to bed about 7 o'clock, make myself a cup of coffee, get on down to the studio, and then I start continuing from where I left off the day before, getting the notes all ready and ready to go for the main part of the show, the main script writing. Then I carry on with my music that I'd done the night before, putting that in place, getting that all ready, and then once I've done all that, made all my show, got it all lined up, all into place, I then start getting my audio levels, checking they're right, checking all my audio levels, checking that I sound okay, and then uploading it to MP3 format. Thursdays I come home from work on a Thursday, and then that is when I upload my episode to Libsyn. And I write out all the relevant content in the show script, and then I launch it. So that's about it, really. 3 days it normally takes me over, and it generally takes me about 2 hours over the 3 days. And like I say, getting the music ready, getting the introduction ready, getting the outro ready, getting the main script ready, and then pasting it all together, making it to MP3 format. Bam, put it onto Libsyn. Now, you may have noticed that there is no editing mentioned. Now, I entered the podcasting world after firstly being a live radio presenter, as you all know. And I never edited any of my shows, obviously, because it was live. So therefore, I currently do not edit. I never have, and up till now, I haven't edited. Mainly because my life is so busy at the moment, I simply do not have the time to edit. So there is my weekly format of recording a podcast. But not this week, guys. Not this week. This week has been an absolute crazy week for me. And it's only going to get more and more hectic as the week goes on. It's currently, what time is it here now? It's currently 9:30, Tuesday the 28th. And I've had my orders from Her Who Must Be Obeyed upstairs, that due to a super hectic week, I have only tonight to perform my podcast miracles. So again, forgive me if this episode may sound a little rushed or a bit ropey, but I'm doing my best. And now, I want your opinion, if you don't mind me asking. If I produce a podcast that me personally I feel isn't at its best, doesn't have enough content, should I write it off and scrap it? What do you think? Should I write a podcast off and scrap it if it doesn't feel right? Leave it till next week? Or shall I put the episode out anyway, as any content is better than none? Well, as listening to experienced podcasters, they say the key word is consistent, being consistent, putting your show out, putting your podcast out the same time every week. What's your views on that? Get in contact with me, jaff10@hotmail.com. Tell me, should I put a show out if I was not happy with it, or should I just put it out anyway? Consistency, that is what they say. Now, I know what you're wondering. Why has this week been so hectic? Why am I rushing around like a blue ass fly? Well, Monday nights is normally my live radio presenting night where I do my show for NCB Radio, and I will talk more about that in a second. It's not quite as easy as what it sounds there. So that takes up a good 4 hours of my Monday evening. So that's Monday wrote off, gone, never to be seen again. But yesterday afternoon, that's Tuesday afternoon, I had my first transatlantic Skype interview for Brian Crawford over in Pittsburgh for a great radio station called the River's Edge PGH.com. And it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. It really kickstarted the week off and has left me buzzing. Now, Brian is a radio presenter like me. He has similar styles and interests, but his journey has trekked out totally different to me. And basically, he wanted me to tell his audience my side of the story. It was kind of strange. Can I just tell you now? It was kind of strange being the other end of the interview, answering the questions and not asking them. But it was kind of cool, But why am I doing all of my podcast prep tonight, Tuesday night, instead of Tuesday and Wednesday, you may be asking? Simple. We are going on a road trip. Yes, I am whispering. Me and the family are going on a road trip. Right. Why am I whispering? Because it's a secret. Well, the whole process is a secret. Well, first off, we're going on a road trip. We're going to see my auntie for a surprise birthday party up in Yorkshire, which is approximately about 5.5 hours drive in the car. Now, anybody that's got kids, you will know that 5.5 hours in a car with two children. Mum, are we nearly there yet? Dad, I need a wee. It does your head in. So we're breaking the route down Friday. We're stopping around Birmingham area, staying the night in a motel, and then we're back on the road on Saturday morning and carrying on our drive up to Yorkshire. Now, like I said, the surprise party is on a Saturday night. My auntie, and she knows that there's a party going on, but she doesn't know that all the family are coming. So it's going to be kind of cool. So that's Saturday night. And then Sunday is where the really exciting part comes in. Now, I'm going to have to be really quiet about this because the kids are in bed. Yeah. But we are getting on a plane at Doncaster Sheffield Airport, otherwise known as the Robin Hood Airport. And we're taking an hour's flight over to Paris, where we will be spending 4 nights at Euro Disney. And you know what? What's totally amazing is the kids don't have a clue. They don't have a clue about it. And if that's not enough, we're also meeting up with friends over there. Well, they know we're coming over, but the daughter doesn't. So when the kids meet one another, they're not knowing they're going there, and when they meet there, they are gonna go crazy. And I tell you, I am so excited. I can't wait to see their little faces. But the problem is I am totally rubbish at keeping secrets, and the suspense is killing me. So that's what's going on, which sadly means that I will not have a podcast for you next week. Now, I hope you can forgive me. And if you've been listening to my previous episodes up to date, you will know that one of my aims this year is to spend more quality time with the family. Now, is this suffice? Is it suffice? So lots and lots of exciting times ahead. But that's not it. That's not just it. I've totally gone off the rails, and it's this next part that I want you to tell me if I've done the right thing. Now, when I first started off in radio 3 years ago, I set myself a 3-year plan. And year one was to get involved with radio, find a radio station that wanted me, get involved, spend a year at that station, getting to know the ins and outs of a radio station, getting to know people. That was year one. Year two was to leave that station and set up a radio station from home, get all the equipment set up from home, and then do my show from home. That was my part two. And then year three was to go freelance, to put my show out across the world to loads and loads of different stations. Now, as you're aware, until Monday, I was a radio presenter for NCB Radio, but I kind of come to a crossroads at my much-loved NCB Radio and realised it's time to say goodbye to my Monday night show. And, it was difficult because I'm comfortable NCB Radio. I'm comfortable with the show that I'm doing. But I decided, do I carry on going down that straight route, the comfortable route, not knowing, how long I'm going to carry on for, and, or do I hook a right, at the crossroads and do something new, something scary, that is freelance radio. So I'm taking time off from radio completely at the moment for the next month. I'm going to come back from a break, and after my 40th birthday party, get all of that out of the way, about a month, and by that time it'll be around May. Me and my co-presenter Liam Cloak, and we're going to have a few meetings, and we're going to design a new show, a new format, a new brand, and then we are looking for stations that will take my show to the next level and broadcast it for me. Now, my aim is I want to try and get 10 stations under my belt, 10 different stations from 10 different countries. Now, what I'm going to do is, instead of going live, my much love live, I'm going to be going down the route where I record my show each week and then send it freelance out to these 10 stations, which will broadcast it at different times all around the world. And then hopefully next year that will end my that series of tasks. That will end it, and I will be able, fingers crossed, to be in a position where I can sell my radio show. Once I know my freelancing works, get to a stage where I can actually start selling it to radio stations. Now, you can see it's been hectic. This last week it's been hectic, but hopefully, fingers crossed, there's going to be rewarding times ahead for me on my 2017 journey. Whew. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted just thinking about it, and I think it's time for another cup of coffee, don't you? Before I do, I think it's time for some music. Time for me to play you some music. And my artist number one of this week's unsigned artist. Now, did I say that right? Artist number one of this week's unsigned bands is Jack Ferry. Now, Jack is a multi-instrumental singer, stroke songwriter with a passion for introspective lyrics and subversively sad songs. Easy for me to say. Leading his background band, the Ferrymen, on guitar, vocals, saxophone, and a variety of other instruments, Jack Ferry plays loud songs about heartbreak, drug addicts, the end of the world, betrayal, and the general sense of malaise. So, should we take a listen? His song is called Modern Day Telepathy, and his debut EP, Polite Pop, is now available on iTunes, Spotify, and pretty much everywhere else. So here it is. I'm going to chuck it at you now. Modern Day Telepathy, and it is by Jack Ferry.
What a curious age we live in. How strange it is to be given a little box of metal that runs the world. What a wonderful world it is. So many places at my fingertips I see the sun and the rain. So many people I can meet. This thing just sweeps me off my feet, 'cause I found you with modern day telephony. So probably more that it's statistically impossible that we could have met. Who knew we could talk like this? Who knew that I would get obsessed thanks to algorithms and your wit? So many people I could meet. This thing just sweeps me off my feet, 'cause I found you with modern day telephony. Let's stay up for 5 hours and speak. Let's play pretend that we should meet. Let's like all of the same things. Let's get excited when the phone rings. It was nice talking to you. It was nice just talking. I don't do a lot of that these days. Never mind that we didn't find the time. Never mind that I should have crossed the line. You're always a nervous phone call away. So many people I can meet. This thing just sweeps me off my feet, 'cause I found you with modern day telephony. So many people all alone in virtual pairs, beaming at their phones. Thank God for you and me and modern day telephony.
That was Jack Ferry, and you can find more of his work on his Facebook page. You can find him on Twitter and Instagram at JackFerry0, and email him at the jackferry.bandcamp.com. I'll put all of these links up on my podcast episode 8 description. Now, he left me a very interesting question. I seem to be getting a lot of these at the moment. And he said, where is the best place to eat around your area, and what do you recommend from there? Well, Jack, to be fair, I don't really go out to eat much anymore. I normally get takeaways. If ever I do have to have anything, I fancy a change. I can't be asked to cook myself. I normally get a takeaway. And if I do have something to eat, I fancy treating myself. I'm normally a Chinese man myself. Chinese takeaway is my bag. I love a duck curry I'm into me duck. A nice duck curry or a chow mein or something like that. Or if I fancy an Indian, generally it's a lamb danzak or a king prawn danzak. That's the sort of thing that I'm into. Nothing too hot, but it has to have a little bit of a kick. But one thing I couldn't live without one thing I could not live without is a proper Cornish pasty. And my favourites, and I urge everyone that lives in Cornwall that listens to this podcast and is local to me to try out a pasty stall. It's between Callington and Saltash, and it's called Hell of a Pasties. They're on the lay. As you go from Callington to Saltash, there's a lay-by on the left there, a little pasty like shed that sells pasties, and it's simply one hell of a pasty. What else can I say other than that? What else can I say but pure yummies, pure yumminess, the proper Cornish way. Now we're gonna have to move on from that because I'm feeling quite hungry now. Come on, Mark, concentrate, deep breaths. Now, artist number 2 this week is Tom Baker. He sent me in his bio, and quite honestly, if I read it all out to you now, I would probably miss my plane on Saturday to Euro Disney. Sorry, Sunday to Euro Disney. Quite simply, this Southwest musician has done loads. Tom Baker is an ambitious and creative acoustic artist who has the passion and enthusiasm to represent the Southwest as one of the standout musicians. His drive and determination doesn't overshadow his undoubted talent, and after numerous television and radio appearances, as well as frequent festival bookings, his career is most certainly gathering momentum. Growing up on the outskirts of Plymouth, which is in Devon, down the southwest UK, Tom has a unique style fusing cover versions of popular classics with a varied range of original material. This is one favour of him throughout the UK, especially in his hometown, where he started playing at just the age of 13. I'm so jealous. I really, really wish I was that ambitious at that age. Now he is booking schedules that sees him actively working in some of the city's most popular venues, as well as frequently guesting around the rest of the country. Tom has sent us in his latest single, and I know you're going to love it. It's called My Confession, and it's this week's song number 2 of our unsigned artist hits. Check it out.
I've got something to confess. My heart, my loneliness, pulling all the kindest shapes of love. Like a young bird, you're my nest. So what am I to know? The book I've opened, yeah, and it won't close. And so what am I to say? The fear makes the wolf look bigger. Go ahead and pull my trigger now. Go ahead and pull my trigger now. Go ahead and pull my trigger. I've got something to admit, a crime I didn't commit. Well, holding on to the world that lives inside your soul. Our love is never told. Oh, and so what am I to know? The book I've opened, yeah, it won't close. So what am I to say? The fear makes the wolf look bigger. Go ahead and pull my trigger now. Now. Go ahead and pull my trigger now. Go ahead and pull my trigger now. I've got something to suggest, that you lay my heart to rest. When I told you all our love has gone, you said, darling, I'm a mess. So what am I to know? The book I've opened, yeah, it won't close. And what am I to say? The fear makes the wolf look bigger. Go ahead and pull my trigger now. Now. Go ahead and pull my trigger now. Go ahead and pull my trigger. I've got something to confess. My heart, my loneliness, pulling all the kindest shapes of love, like a young bird, you're my nest.
That was My Confession by Tom Baker, and to find out more of his work, check out the show's description for all of his links. You can find him on Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud and Twitter. Now, Tom concluded his email with another question. Now, he said to me, Mark, in the mainstream charts, who do you think will be the next artist who completely dominates the top 10 if it'll ever happen? What are your thoughts? Very interesting one, Tom. Now, I think it was last week's show we was talking about Ed Sheeran and how he has been dominating the charts. In the top 20 UK hits, he has 16 of the top 20. Is it right? You know, should he be able to have 16 in the top 20? And it's all changed since we've now got the streaming charts, you know. Once upon a time, like I've said before, it used to go to the shop and buy a single that was released, and that would make up the top 40 of the mainstream hit parade. Now, like I say, it's all different. It's all gone on the amount of streaming. So, you know, with likes of Spotify and all that lot, if you buy an album and it's through Spotify and it's streamed, it counts the amount of times a song in the album is played. So that's the reason why you're getting lots and lots of artists in the top 20 at this moment in time. Personally, I don't think it's right. I'd like to go back to the old single days where you bought a single, whether it be on vinyl or CD. I'd like it to go back to that route, or even buying in your MP3s. I'd like it to go back to that route. But who do I think is going to dominate the charts? It's a difficult one. It really, really is, because streaming has changed music. And I do think that you are going to see a lot more of these artists like Ed Sheeran that's, you know, having loads of hits. I mean, last year you had Justin Bieber. He brought a new album out. Forgive me, I don't know the album. But I do recall that in America there was about 5 or 6 of his songs in the charts at one time. And I do think we're going to see a lot more of this now. I think we're going to see a lot more artists bringing albums out and then being streamed, and you know. But as for total domination, I mean, over in the UK here, in the 90s, we had groups like the Spice Girls, and we had groups like Take That. We had groups like Oasis and Blur that were dominating their field for a good 10 years, consistently putting good songs out, consistently putting good albums out. And where I'm coming from on this one is by bringing singles out, by bringing albums out, it's not all being released bang in the charts at once. So like Ed Sheeran, he's just brought this new album out and everybody is playing all of his songs at once and it's filling up the charts. Whereas in the 90s and the noughties, that didn't happen. One song was released from the album each time, which gives... you know, that album that they've brought out lasts longer. You know, there's more time for songs to enter the charts, if that makes any sense. So I think that domination time is shrinking. So it's a difficult question, that, Tom. I hope that kind of made a bit of sense. It didn't really, did it? But I sort of think I know where I'm coming from. I hope you do. I hope that's it. So that concludes the show. My friends, the end of episode... We are now at the end of episode 8. And like I say, I'm sorry if it's a little bit of a shorter one this week, but as you're aware, I've got lots and lots to do. And I did think that I'll just get on the mic here and say a few words and play a couple of songs to keep you guys at home happy. Well, my friends, that is end of episode 8. Check me out via my webpage, www.jaff10.simplesite.com. You can also subscribe to my podcasts via my YouTube channel and iTunes, and we are now on Mixcloud. So don't forget to also send me in your comments on the show, or anything that you would possibly like me to talk about on my next episode. And that is at jaff10@hotmail.com. And all of these links will be on my show description. So like I said, as I said before, there will be no show next week. Apologies for that. I will be back in 2 weeks' time. So, you know, stay tuned. Hope you can join me in 2 weeks' time. Look after yourself. Stay healthy. And I leave you with this one thought. Your life may not be as strange as you once thought.